So today on the show, we're very fortunate to have a few celebrities with us. We have Wellesley Education Foundation and the annual Spelling Bee, which is always an enormous success, and I'm sure this year it will not be any different. We have Susan Ryan, Maria Chase, and Eunice, pronounce your last name for me? Groark with us today. And so we're going to start with introducing Susan, our first celebrity. Susan Ryan has lived in Wellesley with her husband Matt and her two children for over 20 years. Susan is a longtime supporter of the Wellesley Public Schools, serving on the Fisk and Wellesley Middle School PTOs, and also working on many override campaigns as a board member of Committee 21. She holds an undergraduate and law degree, both from Georgetown University, and she served for 10 years as a U.S. Foreign Service officer with overseas postings in London and Brasilia. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Brasilia? All right. Susan is a current co-president of the Wellesley Education Foundation, and she's also co-chair of the Wellesley Democratic Town Committee. Susan serves on the board of the Wellesley chapter of the National Charity League and has been a Wellesley Town Meeting member for over 10 years as well. And next we move on to fabulous Maria Chase. Maria Chase this is her second year on WEF's board, and last year she was involved with the Spelling Bee and the Red Apple selfie campaign in the spring. And this year she is a co-vice president for the Wellesley Education Foundation. She has 3 daughters in the Wellesley Public Schools. And we are so happy you could make it today.
Thank you.
To talk about the bee. And then we have Eunice Groark. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yep, that's perfect.
She has lived in Wellesley for more than 12 years with her husband and 2 children, Harry, 17, a junior at Wellesley High School, and Phoebe, 13, an 8th grader here at the Wellesley Middle School. Eunice was an active member of the Sprague PTO for 10 years, and she is also a member of the steering committee for both the Yes for Wellesley campaign and the Yes for School Buildings campaign. She's very active with the Pan Mass Challenge and the Petals for Pediatrics Fund, and she's been a PMC writer for the past 10 years. Eunice has been a Wellesley Education Foundation board member for 3 years and is currently co-chairing the annual Spelling Bee, which makes her our star attraction today.
That's right.
So we're going to start with Maria as co-VP. Please tell us, how many years has the Bee been running here in Wellesley?
So the Bee has been, this is our 28th year, so we've been doing it for 28 years, and this year it's at Sprague School.
Very nice. And it's been running continuously for all 28 years. You've never missed a year, right?
No,
Awesome. Look at that. So Eunice, why did you and your co-chair, Rebecca, step up for chairing the Bee this year? It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. We were asked to do it, and the 2 of us have worked on numerous campaigns together. So when we were asked, we were excited to take on the task, partially because we both are very passionate about the schools and raising money for the schools. All the money raised through the Bee goes to the Wellesley Education Foundation and then is incorporated into the grant giving that they do each year. So we felt very strongly about that, and we also feel very strongly about community. The Bee is a wonderful community event that touches on all parts of the Wellesley community. So we were honored to be a part of it.
I know, and I hear that anyone who attends the Bee always walks out saying they had so much fun and it's so exciting. It's such a fun thing to watch, right?
It is.
It's very entertaining. So what are the teams like this year? We have any new teams and we have returning teams?
So the majority of the teams are returning teams. We are excited that the boys varsity basketball team has made a reappearance. They have not been a part of the Bee for the past several years, but they're back. So that's wonderful. It is terrific. We have at least 13 teams from the high school, and then again, as I had mentioned, from all parts of the community, from the Council on Aging to the Board of Selectmen to a number of the real estate companies in town all participate. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And do you have any new ones this year that are new teams that weren't there last year?
No, but just the boys basketball
okay.
team.
Nice. You got them on board too.
We did.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell me about some of the behind the scenes, the organizing process, and how was it? How was I'm sure it's, like I say, it's a lot of work, but tell us how that is.
It's a lot of work, but it is a very well-oiled machine. Becca and I are very fortunate to walk in the footsteps of so many who have organized the Bee ahead of us, and so many of the pieces are in place. However, it is a lot of outreach. It's a lot of contacting different organizations within the town and making sure they're committed to the bee. And also, in addition to not only soliciting teams, but it's soliciting sponsorships. It's making sure that people are still engaged, that they want to be involved, and if they can't have a team, that they're willing to help fund a team.
Right. And which is an amazing, which makes it an even more amazing event, because you raise money in order to funnel it back into our public school system.
Absolutely.
And I think you'd agree when I say that B is one of the largest fundraisers.
Absolutely.
One of the largest
Absolutely.
fundraisers for
Yeah,
the Education
it
Foundation.
is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. So tell me about a few things that you found surprising while you were co-chairing the bee. And please mention your co-chair's name so we can give a little shout out to her.
Absolutely. That is a good question. I think for Becca and I think, again, the thing that is most surprising is, for example, I reached out to a former board of selectmen to see if she'd like to participate, and she said, of course I would. This is my most favorite event of the year. So that's just one example of the response that I've received. And when you're hounding people and making phone calls and asking if they'd like to donate or if they'd like to be a team, sometimes you think everyone's so busy in the fall, perhaps they don't want to be involved. But the overwhelming response is, of course, we can't wait. This is our favorite event. And as I mentioned, it's from the police. I've been to the police station so many times, and they are so excited about the bee, or the fire department. So,
Right, get spellers everywhere.
get spellers
And
everywhere.
I love the middle school teachers who always show up.
yes.
One of them is my next door neighbor.
Oh, isn't that
And
wonderful?
they always show up in the best costumes. I
Oh,
think
they have
last
the
year they
best.
were like firemen. There was a fireman and there was a adult butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they take
So-
it seriously.
They
It's
do.
so
I know.
true. And I've heard at the high school that the assistant principals get together and they try to plan their theme based on a musical each year.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so they take it very
Well,
seriously.
we will certainly be keeping an eye out for that one.
Absolutely.
For that one this year. I know. So, Susan, as co-president of the Education Foundation, give us your input as to why you think the WEF annual spelling bee is such an iconic tradition in town.
Well, as Eunice and Maria both mentioned, it's such a big community event, and it really draws from all across town and all different ages. So we have kids who are coming to cheer on their parents or maybe their teacher or fellow students, and we have parents and grandparents coming to watch their kids. So it really draws from across the community and all different ages. So it's really a great event.
So, and that's a really great answer. And how does it fit with WEF's mission?
Well, WEF's core mission is to enhance innovation and excellence in the Wellesley Public Schools, and we do that by giving awarding grants to teachers and administrators in the Wellesley Public Schools. So in order to do that, we have to raise money, and WEF, as we mentioned, is our single largest fundraiser, and so we use that money to go directly into grants for the teachers and administrators in the school system.
And that is also how it would impact literally the whole town.
Yes.
Absolutely, because it affects every single child in the district. So we
Right.
have grants that affect every level of school from the preschool all the way up to the high school.
And that would include providing additional funds for things like the solar engraving machine that the art department uses, and
Oh, yes,
professional
absolutely.
development for teachers.
Right, so this year we granted, I think, professional development grants for well over a dozen, actually dozens of teachers to do various kinds of professional development. And then we have a broad range of grants that we give, from science equipment, laboratory equipment for the biology labs, to things like district-wide grants where we have speakers come and talk to the parents about important issues like social and emotional development, and particularly focusing on things like social media. So it's really a broad range of things, and we fund smaller items too for teachers and administrators.
Awesome, excellent. And so where can we go online to make a donation?
So
What's
we would
the-
go
what's
to
the link?
to the website. So
It's
it's
welleslyeducationfoundation.org.
Right.
Okay, and then there'll be make a donation, and then we hit that tab.
That's right.
So you look for the spelling bee under events,
Okay.
click on events, and under there's a tab for spelling bee, and then you'll see a tab that says sponsor or sponsor/donate to the bee. You just click
And
on
that's
that.
at any time between now and November 2nd, we can access that link
Absolutely.
and make a donation.
Yep.
All right.
In any amount. Right?
Any amount.
Any
yeah.
amount.
Great.
That's right.
And it's great leadership, ladies. So kudos to all of you
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
providing the inspiration.
Thank you, Rama.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
So the Wellesley Education Foundation Spelling Bee will be on November 2nd at Sprague School at 7 p.m.
Yes.
That's right.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
This
you,
was
Rama.
fantastic.
Thank you.
It'll be a fabulous event again this year.
Thank you.